All right, hey, it's Matt, BlindGuysGarage. Today, we're back working on this Chevelle. Yes, we just ended the last video, and we're starting this one on a new start. Fresh start, fresh day. That's how we're gonna play this. The rest of this is gonna go just fine and dandy, right? Who knows? We'll see. But, so the next step, wire this thing up, and we'll see if this motor runs. So hopefully, by the end of this video, we're running. So, where we're gonna start, obviously, is gonna get the wiring harness laid up on the motor where it belongs. The only thing we won't have is alternator. It's okay. We're probably not going to put any accessory drive on it at all just to fire it up with. So we won't have an alternator, and we might not have a mass air meter. We'll see. But it'll still run without it. Not a big deal. I've got the O2 sensors over here for it. A pair of Densos. I don't remember what the part number is. I will post it in the description for you. These are the sensors that work for this harness. I'll also post the harness that we use in the video in the description as well. And then at the end of all this, I will do a full video of every part that we used on this particular engine and everything we used, so that if anybody else needs the information, everything, oil pan, motor mounts, headers, you know, all the goodies. So let's get started. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and finish up the driver's side header, but before I finish it without y'all on camera, a trick for y'all: always notch the ends of the gaskets. That way you can just start your bolts, wrap your gasket in behind everything, and send it. Because otherwise you're fighting with the header and the gasket, trying to get it all lined up all at one time. Maybe it's not that big of a deal for some people. All of, 30 seconds for me to notch these gaskets instead of it just being a straight round set right there. And makes my life easier. And if I ever take them back apart, real easy. Yep. Next day. Didn't get much done. Crap happens. You know how life is. So here we are. Got the header completely installed. I started running the wiring harness. Got the intake just sitting on here right now. Got the wiring harness ran under everything. My phone's currently ringing. Stupid phone. Either way, harness is on. Most of the harness work is done here. Our harness is plugged up. Let's roll you around. Here we go. So we've got all the injectors plugged up on this side, the coil pack plugged up on this side. This whole harness is dropped down, runs down, and goes all the way down to the transmission back there. A couple wires run up here. One of the things I like about this wiring harness, you can't really see it, I don't think, is right here, is two little bitty red wires. This is the power for the harness right there. It's awesome. Love having power for the harness right here. So it just runs right into the starter lead right here. Now we just have to run and cut this wire right here. This is our starter switch power right here for the starter. We'll cut it, wire it, and put it right there where it belongs. And then we'll test fit the header again. Of course, we still have the trans lines to finish up. So we got them right here right now with our little crimp connect, our flared line with a collar and a 6AN tube nut. So we'll turn those and bring them out under the mount right here, and then up to the radiator. So I got some parts ordered to finish that. They should be here tomorrow. But for now, looks like we have most everything done. We still have to build the fuel line from right there to right there. Nothing major. The rest of it should be fairly simple stuff. Biggest thing is making sure everything fits behind this passenger side header. The header always clears nice on the body and the motor and all that, but when you start packing all the wires, trans lines, everything else behind it, it gets a little tight in there because everything runs off this passenger side. So, but either way, I will bring you back. It's probably going to be tomorrow, but we'll see. All right, been a couple days, but here we are. So now let's roll around here. Probably won't look any different to y'all, but here we go. Trans lines are tied up. Yep, we had to cut and move the fittings backwards a little bit because they were digging straight into the block. This is currently just looped up here. There's just a loop right here so I don't leak trans fluid everywhere whenever I try to start it, if I hadn't already made the lines. That's more of a if I forget trans line. And then we got wiring harness here. So here, if you pay attention, you can see right here, there is a rubber hose. It's hard to see down in there. A rubber hose that runs up with this fuel line. Well, when I do these things, I like to run the main power either in the main harness in the car, all the way out the back, then find a way to drop it through, or I'll run it directly with the fuel line and I'll wrap it in a rubber hose. I say wrap it, I'll push the wire through a piece of rubber hose. So in this case, we got 3/16 fuel line ran right beside the frame rail all the way down the back with the power lead all the way to the back. So that's how I do them. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people make fun of me for it because they say it'll be just fine hanging it. I don't like it. I don't trust it. But it kind of is what it is. So yeah. Now it's time to actually put the driver's side header on. Oops. Passenger side header on. And oh yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. We also got the battery power set up. We got the factory box mounted that came off the Chevrolet truck, Tahoe, whatever it was. It mounts right here, and it mounts really nice. So now that leaves us a little junction block to put our power leads into. And then, of course, we have our fuel pump lead, main power right here, which we're just going to junction off right here, straight to here until my fuse block gets here, because I'm going to mount a small fuse block right here for a couple small things. I use that to help me start the screw holes. So we'll just run it to right here, and then we'll get a disconnect on it that way. That will not leave the fuel pump running 100%, but it'll let power run straight to the relay, unfused for the moment. So, all right, bring it back. All right, well, it's time to hook the battery up. We've done all the wiring now. So we got the positive hooked up. We're listening for a beep, but no arky. Huh, no beep. That's weird. Let's see if we can get this battery to hook up. Come on. Oh, we got this wire in my way. All right, here we go. Try again. So I had to get something so I can actually put some pressure behind it. Hear it? No arc. All right. Alright, we have the coils unhooked. So the only thing we're going for, number one, make sure nothing crazy happens when you turn the switch on. It's always good. So no arc. Number two, will the motor spin over? Oh, sounds like somebody didn't tighten the torque converter bolts. What if I didn't tighten the torque converter bolts? We'll check that in a minute. But motor spins over. That's good news. Let's see if fuel pump primes. All right, we have no fuel pump prime. So we'll chase that next. All right, since I've had you on camera last, nothing's changed out here, but I found I had the wrong pin in the fuse block. I had a non-switch power pin, so it didn't have no power at all. Don't know what it was for. I've since moved onto the column, the power wire that's supposed to run up out into the distributor. We're gonna do a whole wiring harness under the dash. That'll be a different video. But for now, we are, I'm gonna show you what I've got. Got fuel pressure finally, or not fuel pressure, got fuel up at the pump. This is our gasoline. Yes. Powerade. Horsepowerade. All right, so we're gonna dump that out. We're gonna do one more round, pressing up one more bottle of that stuff through. Then we'll hook the line up, but I always do that because when you're making these lines, you always end up with some kind of scrap metal trash in them. And also, make sure you hook the fuel pressure regulator up properly. I mentioned that when we first put it together. Well, I hooked it up wrong. Tried to put pressure, it wouldn't push pressure at all to the engine. Wonder why. Had it backwards. All right, bring it back. All right, here's bottle number 2. Looks a lot cleaner, doesn't it? I'll put a comparison of them side by side. We'll do one more. All right, and bottle number 3. Pretty clean. Now, that is why you always push fluid through the system right there, because all the trash that was in that first bottle would end up in the injectors and probably clogged one. Now, let's get back to it. I had a push lock connection right here and it blew off right in my face. I built pressure on it. All right, let's see. First things first. Let's see if make sure the motor spins over. No oil pressure yet, but we'll see what happens. Injectors obviously are not bleeding down. Come on. Everybody ready? That's weird. All right, well, there it is. 69 Chevelle runs, finally. All that work. I guess in the next video, we'll find out if the transmission works. Either way. Off camera, as you noticed, I put a oil pressure gauge on it. Figured that'd be a nice little add-on to have. Second thing I did is I sprayed myself with fuel. You can see where fuel has got all over the top of the intake, and it looks like most of it's gonna be okay. Yeah, gasoline and paint don't mix very well. Is what it is. But so yeah, we'll be redoing all these lines. Apparently this particular kit was garbage, so yeah, we'll probably doing that with PTFE fittings. Is that what it is? PTFE line? Either way, that's when we'll redo it in probably the next time, because it's the way of the world, and there's a lot of ethanol in our fuel nowadays anyway, so better off to go with something a little stronger. But as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and next time hopefully we'll be able to get this thing moving. If not, we'll be doing lots of fuel line, and oh yeah, and we're gonna be doing a dash harness too, so that'll be in a different video if I haven't showed you that or told you that already. But as of now, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and y'all have a good one. Later.